Good Friday traders, welcome back to the Forex Ball Trading Academy. In this video we will look at the dollar against the Swiss franc currency pair. You already know that we had analysis previously done quite a bit of time ago, but today we will do a renewed analysis and see where exactly price could be heading. But before that, I would like to remind you that information in this video is for educational purpose only, should not be considered as the financial advice. Finally guys, click that subscribe button and the notification bell to follow the analysis that we do on the weekly basis. So this is the old analysis we did on the dollar Swiss franc, and as you can see we did expect the continuation of the downtrend. And the downside potential support is at 0.8637. Now we made another analysis, so basically this is the renewed one, and let's go through that. So it's a daily time frame, and as we can see the trend is clearly very bearish. While the downtrend might not be that strong in the long run, we still expect the price to be moving down. Now why is that? First, we have this key support level or area formed between 0.8998 and 0.8978. So these are the lows produced previously. One of them was produced here and another is there, which is marked with the yellow circle. And what we see guys is that there was this break to the upside, and potentially we did had the rejection of the resistance trend line, which is the also an average price downtrend trend line. So the trend remains bearish, although we had this break to the upside above this resistance, but on the weekly there was no break and close above this level. So this is very important because on the weekly there was no break above this resistance area, which means that the trend remains bearish. Back to the daily chart, and we can see that there is still that potential for the price to move lower. And based on our analysis, what could be happening is that we will see that decline towards 0.8737 as the nearest support. Back to the oldest analysis, we might be seeing a stronger move down, but this only will happen if there will be break below the support at 0.8737. Now this support is based on the 161.8% Fibonacci retracement level applied to this corrective move up prior to this break of this support, where price also found the resistance. There was multiple rejections of this area right there, and also we had it here. So now we have another resistance area which got rejected today, and there is this opportunity for the price decline or continuation of a downtrend. What we expect is the small pullback which might occur today or tomorrow towards this low, which is at 0.8978. So this could be where the sellers will step in. We might be even spiking above to test the trend line once again, but then if we hold this high, then the price is likely to continue going down towards this support we mentioned already. So overall the potential is around 240 pips to the downside, but this is obviously as long as this high holds at 0.9059. If there will be break to the upside, then we might be seeing actually a trend reversal, but for now it's too early to say that, because what we have also is an A, B and C corrective pattern based on the Elliott wave theory, which also suggests the continuation of the downtrend. And if we break above this high, it will mean that it is wave 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And in that case, obviously, this is likely to become an uptrend in the medium to long term. But for now, clearly a very bearish trend. We expect this 260 move to the downside starting potentially today or maybe sometime next week, because this level is likely to be tested prior to the price moving down. All right, so let's move to the previously made analysis, run through all of them quickly. The pound Swiss franc did reach the final resistance and broke higher, which means there is more upside potential and there could be a big uptrend. Nonetheless, we have reached the level that was expected. It took about 1 month, it seems. So, you know, it did take quite a lot, 33 days actually. Yeah, over a month for the second target to be tested. So good job who followed it and who had the same view on this currency pair. Good profits. And we are closing this chart. We'll not get back to the pound Swiss franc. Now let's move to the pound against the dollar. Well, here we still in an uptrend. We still expect the continuation of this trend, especially with the dollar being weak. This should be the case and the price is likely to continue moving up along with the dollar Swiss franc continuing to go down. Now, in regards to the dollar, we have two pairs, also New Zealand against the dollar and Australian dollar against the dollar. Now, New Zealand against the dollar still have this upside potential. Mainly, it will probably be moved by the dollar weakness yet again, rather than the New Zealand dollar strength. So also we have this potential, and if we calculate it, it's about 80 pips. Comparing to the pound against the dollar, it's 490 pips. So there is a lot to go. And maybe New Zealand dollar will go also much higher. Now, on the Australian against the dollar, what we have is a pretty small move to reach the final resistance, 77 pips. But if we go towards the second resistance, it's a 250 pips. So at least it seems we have Australian dollar 70 pips. New Zealand dollar, we have 83 pips, so more or less the same. And this is where the trend might be stopping. There could be a pullback, or if these will be broken, these resistances on the New Zealand and the Australian, then we'll move towards the second resistance, and we will most likely then move towards this key resistance on the pound against the dollar. Moving on to the euro against the pound, we are nearly testing the first support, but still to be tested, of course, still a little bit to go. Maybe even today it will be tested, because you can see this strong red candle, which does implies a very strong bearish pressure. On the New Zealand Swiss franc, yes, this was a pretty strong move already. We expected this move from this support area, so very well done for the New Zealand Swiss franc, if someone also had a similar view on that. So we still do expect here another 80 pips, so quite similar to the Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar, 70-80 pip move. On the New Zealand Canadian dollar, this is not that clear at the moment, since price is not producing these highs. So maybe we will see actually a double top around this area, and then price will go down. So here is a bit risky on the New Zealand Canadian, because we're yet to go quite a bit on the New Zealand Swiss franc and on the New Zealand dollar. But then when these pairs will reach the resistance, most likely the dollar Canadian will start moving down. So this is a risky setup. We will invalidate it. Well, price is above the entry point that we had in our analysis originally, so no harm here. And we will be closing this chart for the New Zealand Canadian dollar, because there is certainly a risk that the price will move down quite soon, especially if we look at this simple uptrend trend line or average price trend line. Price is likely to test it, find the resistance there, form the double top, and then move down. So pretty risky on the New Zealand Canadian dollar. So closing this chart, moving on to the New Zealand Japanese yen. Well, here we have still potential about 160 pips. This is driven, it seems, by the Japanese yen weakness. This still remains a valid analysis. We do expect the continuation of this move, and maybe next week the resistance will be tested. Australian dollar against the Canadian dollar. Also, we must watch other pairs. For example, when the Australian against the dollar will hit this resistance, maybe this will end the trend for the Australian against the Canadian dollar. So very important to watch. And then if there will be this rejection, maybe price will not reach this final resistance that we were expecting. But all in all, it's still interesting opportunity. Most likely it will continue, considering that we have quite a bit to go on the Australian against the dollar. And finally, the dollar Swiss franc, which we analyzed just now. So we hope you enjoyed this analysis, where we expect the continuation of the downtrend on the dollar Swiss franc. And if you did, as usual, guys, smash as many as you can the like buttons. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and we will see you back all on Monday with a new interesting analysis. Stay tuned, and we wish you a great weekend.